ocean. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep. Say I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years, I miss my home. But there's a fire burning in my bones. Still believe. Yeah, I still believe. And all those things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion.
Good evening. It's another Tuesday evening and we are live on Joy 99.7 FM. Welcome to Geek Squad with your girl Adwoa Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Tonight we are going to be having a conversation, and this particular one is of interest to most of us because it has to do with tech startups, specifically fintechs, and then also how we can enhance that whole ecosystem. I have with me my guests, and I'll be introducing them for us to talk more about our conversation. Our guest is in the person of Bright Evans Darko, and we'll get into that shortly. But before we delve into our discussions, we would like to share with you what has been happening in the tech space in the past week. So take a listen to the emerging tech trends. We will be back after that.
Even the strongest
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Emerging Tech Trends on Joy Geek Squad. My name is Denisia Poma Eje. In our headlines, Publio calls for AI to serve humanity. Malaysia to ban social media for under 16s. Also, Meta launches new forum communities app. And finally, ChatGPT can now be added to PowerPoint. Let's settle for the details now. Pope Leo has urged governments and technology companies to ensure AI benefits humanity rather than concentrating power in the hands of a few. He warned that AI development must be guided by ethics, human dignity, and the common good. Malaysia plans to ban children under 16 from using social media platforms starting June 1 as part of efforts to improve online safety and protect young users from harmful content. Meta has launched a new app called Forum, designed to help users create and participate in interest-based communities. The platform aims to make group discussions and online communities easier to discover and manage. And finally, Microsoft users can now integrate ChatGPT directly into PowerPoint presentations, allowing them to generate content, create slides, and refine presentations using AI without leaving the app. And that's it for this week's episode of Emerging Tech Trends on Joy Geek Squad. My name is Denicia Poma Eje. I will catch you same time next week.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adwoa Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Tonight we are talking about whether or not the Ghana ecosystem, specifically fintechs, whether they're losing momentum considering their startups and innovation. I know that over the weekend there were a lot of discussions on our social media platforms, specifically on X, and some of them have already made our minister when it comes to the whole bill that was passed. Neatest bill that was, it's even in a draft stage. There were so many discussions on it, but we are looking at the tech ecosystem, specifically fintechs, and whether or not we are stifling innovation in Africa generally. We have two guests, and I'm going to be introducing them, and we'll have this conversation. We are focusing on the fintech space. The first person is Bright Evans Darko. He's the CEO of Skyflow BS International. Bright, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Adwoa.
Great. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Today is interesting. I have two Brights in the studio. So the second person is also Bright Tenbil, and he is the founder of AfroTalks. Bright, you're also welcome.
Thank you so much, Adwoa.
Okay, so I think I'm going to be dividing it. You will be Bright, and then Bright Evans will be Evans, if that's fine.
Bright Junior.
Bright Junior.
Okay.
So-
Evans could be fine for the sake of the
Okay,
conversation.
that's fine. All right. So I'm going to first start with you, Evans, and we want to just, at least for those listening in, and you can join the conversation by sending any comments or questions to the WhatsApp number 055 1111 997 055 1111 997. If sending and receiving money across Africa became as easy as sending a WhatsApp message, how would it change your business or personal finance? If sending and receiving money across Africa became as easy as sending a WhatsApp message, how would it change your business or your personal finance? Let us hear from you by sending a message on the WhatsApp number 055 1111 997. So getting back to my guest, I'll start first with you, Evans. So how would you just describe, when we are talking about Ghana right now, the current state of fintech in Ghana? Are we making good progress? Would you say we are making good progress?
I would say we are making steady progress.
Okay.
I think the initial euphoria has died down a bit, but I think what we are getting now is those that survived the 2010 to 2016 hype are now moving to sustainability and profitability. So they are diving deeper and entrenching and providing more services. So I would say that yes, it's doing well and it's steady and it is sustainable.
All right. It's good that we are even having this conversation and how it's becoming steady from what you are saying. So I'll come to you now, Bright, as small businesses or someone who owns a small business in Ghana, right? Why is it sometimes difficult to receive payment from customers outside Africa or from different countries?
So, from a broader perspective, I think regulations play a role, systems play a role. So, people like us who have businesses here and trying to make businesses across the African terrain, we have roadblocks, we have challenges, like you mentioned, and I think it's a system. To put it in a very good way, is the system that has stifled our growth when it comes to payment. So
Okay, so why is it that, I mean, when it comes to sending money to other African countries, it's like it can be even more difficult than sending to, European countries, or they even sending to us? That whole transaction thing.
Yeah, so the financial system itself historically hasn't permitted us, like Africans, to make businesses or grow economically. That's how best I can put it, because if someone from the States is sending you money in Ghana, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very easier than you sending some monies to someone in Lagos. Even the banking system. So recently we wanted to send some money to Kigali. The bank actually told us it's better to find someone who is over there, and then you can transact business. That means the cost of even sending the amount you wanted to send is even higher than the actual
Money you want
to send.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So that suggestion of finding someone there to transact the business doesn't mean it was no longer going to be directly from here there. As in
No, it's not going to be directly from here. And like I mentioned, it's a system. It's policy in place as well, and a broader financial rights regulations. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be coming back to you now, Evans. I know you've worked a bit with SMEs and all that, so particularly on this one, what could also account to this reason why it's even difficult? It was difficult for him to send money from Ghana to Kigali, like he was saying.
Okay, let me even start with how serious the problem is.
Okay.
In Europe, the 62% of all their trade is within Europe.
Okay.
In Africa, it's 14%. And he started by saying it's regulation. I think the central banks must be able to communicate and talk to each other. We've been operating in silos for a very long time. Kwame Nkrumah started talking about Africa uniting before Europe started to unite. They've united, and it's so easy to trade among themselves now. So number one is regulation. Now, number two is the capabilities. So the central banks can agree, set up the framework. Now you need the fintechs, you need the solution providers to be able to link businesses across the African sub-region. And I must say that there is so much we can do, apart from the regulation and then the capabilities, also the know-how. I can bet you that if you walk on the street of Agbogbloshie and you ask tell a market woman that he can trade with somebody in Aba in Nigeria or Lagos, he may even laugh at you. He doesn't even think it is possible.
Yeah, that's true.
So where does such a person even start the conversation? So how does he take advantage of business in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, when in his mind it's just like a human being disappearing? Okay, so the awareness is not even there that this is a possibility, because currently I know Afrohism developed a platform called PAPS, even though it's through the banking system, where if somebody owes me in Kenya, he doesn't need to, he'll pay me with shillings and I'll receive in cedis. So it doesn't need to go through the international system where it goes to dollar, it comes to dollar, then it's now changed into cedis. And perhaps have been embraced by a lot, over 30 African countries. But the question is that how many people know about it? Okay, how many people know about it? And also, it is also tailored for people only in the formal sector. So somebody who is not in the formal sector can also not access it.
And in that case, how do we get those who are also not in the formal sector to now become part of these conversations that we are having? Because they're already in business. So how do we get them involved? I'll start with you, Evans.
Okay, the reason why is to be able to produce fintech platforms that are inclusive. So can we expand mobile payment? Okay, I don't need to have a bank account, mobile payments, where I could sit, because now somebody can sit in US on the comfort of his home and pay somebody in Kaswa.
That's true.
Without having any bank account, without a person having any bank account in Ghana, through mobile payments. Why can't I do that to somebody in Kigali? to somebody in Johannesburg, to somebody in Nairobi, in Kenya. So we should be able to create fintech solutions that are inclusive for everybody. And for the fintech companies to be able to do that, they need policy backing. And they need funding. They need support. Ghana can agree. Would Nairobi, would Kenya Central Bank agree? Would Cotonou Central Bank agree? So we need policy backing as much as we need financial backing to make this possible.
That's interesting because, I mean, talking about how we can include those in the informal sectors. I remember being away from Ghana, and then, in fact, it was my friend and I, and she wanted to send me money. So she just went ahead, used Momo, she sent it, and then I just received it there and then. I realized that, oh, this is really cool. But, I mean, when it came to maybe bank transfer, I'm not entirely sure how that was going to work, like the example that you were given. So as much as possible, having these fintechs in place and then also enhancing the whole process with the policy backing, the central banks, I think it really plays a key role from the discussion that you're having. So what I'm hearing is it doesn't have to be just one country in Africa, but the different countries that we have coming together to do this. Bright, I see you really nodding your head. Is there something you want to add to that?
Yeah, so on top of the policy, there is awareness, right? And there is a dream. Whatever is happening now, it's not making us dream further, right? We think of business as just doing within our local communities. We are not dreaming further to do business with Senegal. In that case, we are not even asking those questions. You understand? So he mentioned platforms which should include or should be more inclusive, including the Makola woman, including the everyday trader who are not in the formal sectors. They are platforms. It's not like they are not building. They are talent here, and then you and I can testify that there are platforms who are doing like amazing stuff, but to what extent? How can they can't go beyond their limits, right? There are regulations, there are interoperability, there are some regulations that need to go on, like within countries. He mentioned Kenya and Ghana. I learned Ghana and Rwanda has that interoperability, ratification and laws passed, right? But if it's not in unison, if it's not the whole Africa, it wouldn't work, because we need the unity, just like the USSR of Russia, the China, all those people. They are unified front. You understand? So I think that is the underlining or the fundamental thoughts about when it comes to payment and all the systems.
That's good. I'm going to come back to you now, Evans, and I want us to talk a bit about exchange rate because of the example that you were given earlier, that you not necessarily have to go through the international, transaction where it goes to dollars before you end up getting it in cedi. So for someone listening in, if we are to break this down for them, why do the exchange rates and currency conversion still create so many challenges for African businesses? Okay.
It creates so many challenges because let me give a practical example. Somebody is buying onions from Niger. Okay, Niger is a French-speaking country. So how does he pay the Nigerian? So he has to first of all change his cedis into dollar and transfer it. And anytime there is that exchange rate, you are losing something because you are not transacting in the currency at which you are selling the product. So you are not earning dollars. So you have to first of all sell it in cedi, get cedis, change it to dollar. And when you are doing transfer, you pay charges.
That's true.
You pay charges. You pay correspondent bank charges.
Yes.
So you pay the transfer fees and you pay correspondent bank charges. It gets to Niger. The Niger exporter will now have to also convert it from the dollar
to
to
their
their currency. Time. This thing could take like 5 days before. Because that transfer will have to go sometimes to Citibank, through Citibank in the US before it comes back to Niger.
Africa.
Somebody have to confirm that transaction with Citibank before it gets to Niger. Now, all these conversions, we are both losing money, we are both losing time, and it makes business a bit complicated.
Yeah.
Okay, a bit complicated. So, and sometimes the one in the middle, which is the banks, are those that profit from the traders.
All the time.
No, not all the time, but they sit in the middle and they benefit by doing the interconnection. That is why the PAPS platform is going to be a game changer. But the only thing is that it is not inclusive enough.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the day where on my mobile phone or somebody can be on this farm and can receive money directly from somebody in Sierra Leone, and it will move from the Sierra Leonean dollars straight to the Ghana cedi on the mobile phone without having any bank account, without it going through any currency exchange, without paying cumbersome transfer fees, corresponding bank charges, and all that.
That's really good. And I think the whole adoption and then also awareness is important, because sometimes we're having some of these conversations and then again we'll go back to powers that be, like allowing these things, because like you're saying, some of the banks are making money from these transactions too. So there's a whole thing of power here, and not just that, but what is involved. And I think that's why we are having conversations like this, for us to see what the future even holds for us as a country and as a continent in Africa. So I'm coming to you now, Bright. We hear a lot about AI, like where we are right now. So can we talk about how artificial intelligence can improve payments and the financial services, at least for the ordinary Ghanaian or African?
Right. So AI, I always say it's not a standalone. It's a facilitator. It doesn't actually change anything. It just makes it faster. So just a background, if you don't know anything about whatever you are doing, AI would follow your lead. So you would all fall.
Garbage in, garbage out. Yeah.
Exactly. So garbage in, garbage out. So AI wouldn't really bring anything new. It's just going to improve whatever we have. What do we have is the question.
Yeah.
Do we have like the database of the people, the banks and all those financial systems like Paystack and all those systems they have the numbers.
Yes.
So for them, they have the data, and AI just have to ride on the data you have and then follow the prompts, the ideas. So imagine if you have to send money to someone or you have to do business. So most of us we embed Paystack or Stripe in our platforms when we are building websites and all that. So the Stripe can tell you, or imagine if Paystack can determine the number of people who would buy your product because they've had like a database of people buying, let's say, a flag from another website.
Okay.
You understand? Let me put Ghana JC because we are just in the sports season.
Yeah.
So let's say I have a sports website like selling jerseys. You have the same thing. So I'm about to I can talk with the AI, or I can send a prompt asking what's my projection, because every business needs to know what my projections are in the next year. And with the data it has gathered from similar businesses, because when we give the permission to, or we embed them, they have permission to get all the data, the number of people who are buying and everything. So it can be a source of information, even if you are building your business from the scratch, So those systems can rather help businesses who are trying to go into the same industry where people are thriving or people are losing, and then they can advise what you can do with it. So this is something I'm thinking AI could
help. Or
could facilitate.
All right, yeah, Evans.
Okay. With a banking background, I think in addition to what Bright just said, AI can help a lot in making finance accessible to
Exactly.
Ghanaians. Now, why are banks holding on giving out loans? Number one is identity.
That's
If they are
true.
looking for you. It's the person
We
lives
can't
in
find you
person lives in a
easily.
Shama.
Why
I
are you giving
go-
that example?
Oh, or maybe okay. The
Is
person lives in North Kaneshi,
Where
lives
is
in
Lego?
the
Now you'll
dance.
find them easily.
Yes, they'll find them. The houses are there, you know. But if somebody lives in Nima, you know,
Yeah.
where do you start from?
Seriously.
And so one, identifying the person, and number two, easily assessing the risk or credit worthiness of the individual. You know, in the advanced society, people have credit ratings.
Yes,
It's very easy.
Yes.
Now, AI now is helping financial institution assess credit worthiness of customers within seconds.
That's true. I work in a company like that.
Within seconds. So WeChat, okay, the China version of WhatsApp,
Oh yes.
they have a bank called WeBank, and they provide lending to small businesses, and they are able to take a decision within 30 seconds.
So they already know your information.
AI profiles
they'll-
you. AI profiles you. So like in Ghana, AI will be able to check the credit bureau. So you sit in your home, maybe somebody, a market woman who wants to go to Makola at dawn 5 a.m. He can wake up at 4 a.m., go on the app, apply for a small loan, let's say 20,000. That's all he need to buy goods to go and sell for the
Maybe
day.
within a week or two, they are done.
Even a day, he can come
Yeah.
back within 3 days and
Yeah.
buy again. Now, what does he do? He can just go and apply. The bank system, I don't know you apply for a loan at 4 a.m. But with AI, you can check all the credit bureaus within seconds, how it's performing. AI with policy can access his bank account to see his turnovers over the period.
Exactly.
AI can check his Momo,
Momo
whether he
statement
has
and-
Momo
yes.
loans and all that.
Yes.
AI should be able to check his criminal records with the Ghana police. AI should be able to check with his Ghana card number. AI should be able to check where he lives and make a decision within 30 seconds. By 3 minutes, he has the money hit his account. He goes to do his business. So AI is able to bridge the gap between what's the challenge, what the gap is, or what has been preventing banks from lending, which I've mentioned earlier on.
Yeah.
Okay, AI can easily do that, and I foresee that coming very fast, very fast, very soon. By next year, next 2 years, I see
I was going
institutions.
to ask you like when.
It's going to happen very fast.
Okay.
Why I'm saying that is that it's already happening in other jurisdictions. And millions of dollars are being lent on daily basis, on minutes, because AI is doing the credit assessment. Can you imagine how many, if 100,000 people apply and human beings are assessing them? It's virtually not possible.
Yeah.
But AI can do that within seconds.
That's true.
So it can reach thousands or millions within a day through AI.
And I like the fact that you said at least they will be assessed. So if you are given a particular rating for your credit score, it's something that makes sense because we've gone through all your transactions. We know that, okay, Bright can pay. No, this person cannot pay. So let's not give the loan to them. So it's really something that will bring more enhancement in the fintech space. Yes, Bright.
But I think there's a danger attached to this as well, especially something called wrong data, right? He mentioned the Ghana card, and I would say if all authorities or those who are in charge are taking data, they should be very particular about it, because let's say the Ghana card, there are so many wrong informations on it. Do you understand? I know of someone who has the GRA. It's a man. I mean, it's a lady. But on a GRA or what do you call this?
gender
Tax.
The tin.
The TIN number.
Yeah.
If you input, it's a man, and this person went to the GRA to correct it, and then the person had to, they were not even willing and ready to go through the process with the person. And how do you tax such a person? So like there are so much wrong information which could, of course, you mentioned garbage in, garbage out. The AI is just assessing whatever data you have given and then give you the output. So I think if we have to get there, we need to also
clean our data.
Clean the
That's what I'm
data
getting, yeah.
and not leave the data to the foreign people.
I get where you're coming from. I think that's why we're looking at even data sovereignty at some point.
Exactly, yeah.
Because we want a situation where we are keeping our own data, but as much as possible, I think what I'm picking from what you are saying is having good and quality data.
Exactly.
I think for our part of the world, that's one thing that is really missing. So hopefully with time, we can have that. Like the credit bureau you're talking about, for instance. I know a couple of times we've tried to build some applications where we would use that to check, but sometimes the information we are getting, these Ghana card errors and things like that, sometimes come in there.
Yeah.
But with time, I'm sure all the information would also be cleaned up, and then
Adobia,
you can look at it. Yes,
you see,
it was.
the world is not moving. The world is flying.
That's true.
And we can't stand solving our problems. Let's keep moving and solve them as we move along.
And this one, that she proverb, will be standing in the Nkani.
Yes. Because we can't solve all this before we start. We are already behind.
Anyway,
so as we move on, we solve them
otherwise,
as we go along.
we will not catch up before we do it. The way the industrial revolution came and went by very fast, that same thing will also happen to us. So yeah, I get where you are coming from with this. I'm coming back to you now, Evans. I want us to know, so based on what we are saying right now, and I mean what you're saying, the world is moving and we are also trying to catch up. We say that Ghanaian fintech startups creating solutions, they can compete globally. Can we say that we are in that space that where we can start competing globally?
I would say we have some fantastic fintechs in the system.
Okay.
That putting side by side to other global fintechs can compete. Okay, but they need the enablement. For some of them, it's just financing to push them. Okay, Haptel is doing amazing. Express Pay, there's some of them doing an amazing stuff. Look, there, I once sat in a presentation of a company, and the kind of fintech solution they are bringing is mind blowing. That this is coming from Africa. Some of the things, when they said it, I never believed it till they demonstrated it for us. So the capabilities, don't forget that some of our bright ideas, we have some bright ideas here. They've schooled outside, beating the people out there academically. So we have smart people. Now what we need is the right enablement for them to be able to compete. What do I mean by right enablement? The policy, policy support, financial support. Do we have agencies that can pick this fintech companies and support them deliberately to be able to expand and be able to compete globally? Are we able to come up with policies that protect them against unfair global competition? US is the most capitalized state in the world, but they still protect their industries.
That's the thing. Very much.
Yes, they still do that. So we must come up with policies that protect. I'm not saying we should protect them, we should prevent others from coming, but protect them from unfair global competitions. Therefore, so that they can strive. It's very, very important.
This is so good, and you've reminded me, my company Peswa, we did one particular project, and during that time, in fact, like people made a bet that they are not sure we can finish within the time. We had just 6 months, and this was a MasterCard Foundation project that we had to work on, and it looked like Ghanaian company owned by Ghanaians, like the staff are Ghanaians. How can they pull this off? But we were able to do it. So up till now, it's something that was really surprising to them. And I think, like you're saying, if the enablement is there, it really helps. Because sometimes it's our own people who are saying, oh, let's get the foreigners to do the work for us. But if I know Bright is in the field and he can execute the task, it will be good for us to at least give him the chance to go ahead and do it. It's important that we do that. We are having a conversation on Ghana fintech startups. If you're just joining us, this is Geek Squad with your girl Adwoa Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, I'm having a conversation with Bright Evans Darko, the CEO of Skyflow BS International, and Bright Tenbil, founder of AfroTalks. So I want us to talk about how safe it is, this whole cross-border digital payments like today, because sometimes people are scared of the scams. I'll start first with you, Evans, and then I'll come to you, Bright. So what should businesses watch out for? Because we are talking about these conversations and the fact that yes, one or two platforms are available where you can do your transactions, Paystack like you mentioned, and I know it's not Ghanaian owned, right? So if we have these platforms that we are at least embedding on our websites and things, what are the things that businesses should look out for? I'll start first with you.
Okay, the risk is real, but don't let us overly be paralyzed by the risk. It's everywhere globally. Even in advanced countries, the risk of that comes with said digital transfers is so real. In fact, it happens even there more than it happens here. But they still
advanced.
but they still they still move ahead and do their business. Number one, I will say that you see, cybersecurity now we should take it very serious. And you may not have an internal cybersecurity expert, but you can have an outsourced cybersecurity expert to make sure that your systems are well protected. Most people don't do that.
At all.
And we only remember things like that when we've been hit already. Okay.
I remember the trainings and all that we were supposed to have done. Yeah.
Yes. So I will advise businesses, if you are doing cross-border trade and it's going to be part of your business, get an expert to check your systems and to make sure that your systems are protected and you are doing the right things. Your data is protected. The networks you are operating from are well protected and all that. Get an expert advice. And also I will also say that do your due diligence. Most times, I've just got somebody in Kenya, I've just got somebody in Namibia, I've just got someone in Lagos. Do your due diligence.
You want to become international.
Yes, but do your due diligence. In fact, even if you are doing trading house, even with the West, do your due diligence. It's very important. What do I mean? You may not sit here and be able to know background, but there are agencies, credible agencies that you can pay something small and they'll profile your business partner and do extreme due diligence on your partner for you so that you have information.
Okay.
It's very important.
It's important that we do that. All right, we have some messages, so I'll just go straight to the messages. This is from New BN Biz, New York, USA. He says, thanks so much for this discussion. In the spirit of AFCTA, that's the AFTA, Nubian Biz facilitates business. Okay, so B2Bs and then B2Cs and professional networking in Africa. As Evans said, whenever we talk to business owners about transacting business with counterparts in other parts of Africa, they laugh or are skeptical, and that's the sad truth. Adding your voice is very critical to making progress. We will certainly get there sooner or later. That is so true. Thank you for sharing that with us. We have another message also from Nana Kwesi. He says a basic exercise like SIM registration, we are about to do it again the third time. Ghana is not ready. This is what Nana Kwesi is saying. He doesn't think we are ready yet. We will get back to the conversation shortly. We'll take a quick break. We will be right back after that.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Brush your teeth every day and night. Up and down and all around. Brush the feeling bright. Brush your teeth. Brush with mom and dad. Underneath and in between. Brush the germs away.
Pepsodent, cavity protection.
For 10 times stronger teeth.
This advert is FDA approved.
Girl Adwoa Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go. We are having a conversation on Ghana fintech startups, and I'm having a conversation with Bright Evans Darko, the CEO of Skyflow BS International, and Bright Tenbil, the founder of AfroTalks. You can join the conversation by sending a message to the WhatsApp number 055 1111 997 055 1111 997. So just before the break, I mean, we're talking about how easy it can just be for people to transact across borders and then what they should look out for as businesses. I don't know whether you'd like to add anything to that based on what has been shared already, Bright.
That would have to be the safety part of it, right? I would say criminal is a human is a human attitude. So everything crime, I mean, is a human attitude.
Yes.
And everything we touch, we try to look at both parts
Two
of
sides,
it.
yeah.
And it shouldn't deter us, like Mr. Darko said. It shouldn't deter us from still transacting business. Let's look at Momo, even just the MTN Momo in Ghana. See how it has been when it comes to cyber fraud, crimes within just in our locality. So it's going to even increase, right, when it comes to cross-border, because this time around, you don't even know the person very well. The person might say Kaneshi, you are familiar with Kaneshi, but you don't know anyone in Ouagadougou, right?
Yeah.
You don't know where you are going to look for the person. So it's going to be very chaos, but we need to put ourselves together and get ready for it. And like you mentioned, cyber security should also be taken very serious, but more importantly, you also need to look at the people you are doing the business with. So Paystack like this, Paystack for instance, they go through your profile, your certification, and before you get a payout, they make sure you have your compliance is being and all those regulations are being met before they can give you or send a payout. So it depends on the platforms.
Got it. I mean, talking about that, I think based on the discussions that we are having too, it would be good for some of these platforms to also check and see how best they can make it, in a way, quote and unquote, flexible for the people who sign on to their platforms. Because sometimes it's like hidden information, hidden terms and conditions.
Exactly.
You sign up, it's so easy for you. But when it comes to the payouts, like you're saying, that's when now, okay, this compliance, have you met this?
Exactly.
Have you met that?
I didn't even know there was a Paystack office in Ghana until we didn't receive our money. But I agree with them. It's about money and it's very like critical and sensitive. Yes. So you should agree. If it gets to the wrong person, you are the same people going to
say that you paid on Paystack.
Exactly.
Got it. So as much as possible, it's important that we do that. Okay. So I'm coming back to you now, Evans. Why is it that some international platforms work smoothly across borders while, I mean, others, you face a few challenges?
Okay. It's because some of them, their back-end guarantees.
Okay.
Some banks are guaranteeing the transactions.
Okay.
Okay, so if I'm sending money from here to somebody in China, there is something called correspondent bank. So it's not only between my bank in Ghana and the receiver's Chinese bank. There is a middle bank.
Got it.
Corresponding by either Citibank, HSBC. That's saying that this transaction going, I'm guaranteeing it.
Got it.
In other words, because they don't even know the Ghana bank. They don't even trust the Ghana bank. But there is a middle bank somewhere, and that is a credible bank that guarantees those things.
Okay.
Now, in Africa, we some of our transactions, we don't have things like that. Okay. But so there's that risk. Now, the credibility of those international banks that stand in the middle plays a critical role.
Okay.
And secondly, too, some of these platforms have stood the test of time. And I'm sure when they started, they also had issues of credibility and all that. But we've used them over time. Like when we hear things like Western Union, you don't doubt Western Union now.
Exactly.
Okay.
With all the ads and now people are
we
using it.
grew
Yeah.
up, we were taking Cerelac and Cocoa with Western Union. So
That's true.
some of them have gone through the mail and they've built credibility over time. So I think we will get there. We'll go through our teething problem. But I must say, to be very frank, that Ghanaians are trusting our local fintech systems.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a gradual process, but there is some bit of trust. Let's take our Momo with all its challenges.
Yes.
I think 99% of Ghanaians trust our mobile system.
Yes.
Okay, and there is no international, this is a local platform, and I think we will get there. And I want us to not beat ourselves so much. We are still growing. You are still testing some of these platforms. It will have its initial teething problems, but that is very normal.
Got it.
Yeah, so we should trust. The more we trust it, the more we use it, the more the systems are perfected for our mutual benefits.
Got it. I'm coming to you now, Bright. I mean, based on what you went through with your setup, online embedding a payment platform and all that, what role does digital identity play in making payments faster and more secure? What would you say, digital identity, what role does it play?
So in my experience, that would have to do with regulations to make sure compliance is the main word I wanted to use. That's the role it plays. So how true is a transaction, right?
Yeah. How
sure am I am paying the actual
right
person, and how sure is the platform that these funds are not proceeds of crime? Do you understand? So just like
AML
the banking sector, they try to get the basic information needed and make sure the transaction is legal. The transaction is to the right person, so they wouldn't also have legal suit and all those things, and also protect the environment we are. In as much as I think you mentioned that it's too cumbersome sometimes.
Yeah.
It's too
for me, I think the challenge is the fact that it's not upfront for you to know these are the things.
Exactly.
So like they more or less pull you in by making the initial process very simple for you, and then once you're already on, and especially when the kudi comes, when the money comes, and you know that, oh, I can just go ahead and do my payout. Because I had a similar challenge. I did the payouts expecting that like 2 weeks ago the money would have dropped, and then I realized the money had not dropped. Then I sent a message. This is a different platform anyway. I sent a message to their support. That's when they got back to me to say, can you just check? And I'm like, so the money is hanging where? Because by the time I checked, it had dropped. This was within minutes.
Exactly. That's the whole point. So I think they just need you to verify, and then if it's a wrong data, like we mentioned earlier, it's going to be a very big problem. And then, like you mentioned, it's not just the bank that doesn't trust us. They don't trust us at all. When I say they, I mean anyone running any business, because we go with our business certificates. When you are registering, you add your tax
for the payment platforms.
Payment platforms and all that. But you have all this. Why do you still have to stress me?
Exactly.
Hold my money.
Exactly.
And all that. And so it comes back to the credibility of the country we find ourselves or the continent. So are you telling me the government certified business registration doesn't match up?
No, it's not enough.
It's not enough. You need to show up. I followed up. Let me just say my style story that led me to the pay stack. You know, AfroTalks is a Pan-African event, and then we are going to Kigali. So the payment was done on the website, and the flight, the money for the flight. You know, if flight delays, it keeps increasing.
Yeah.
And then we're just waiting for the money to be like
released.
Pay out, and then
and it wasn't coming.
It wasn't coming. So, you
sorted out the compliance issues.
No, the compliance issue was sorted out.
Okay.
So it's just like what you are talking about, right?
So you're expecting that it will come at a certain time.
Exactly.
But it had not dropped.
And then we sent an email. It's been 2 weeks. Everything, temperatures were just rising.
Got it.
And then we just have to go there. When they saw us, that was when they were really ready to make the payment.
Wow.
So what delayed you actually?
Then, so I think that's why we are even having this conversation. So the ideal thing was probably to reach out to you to let you know, okay, we've received this email. We know this payment is being expected by your team. We need to confirm this. Can you come to our office? So I think that is where sometimes the gaps are, and
Exactly.
we have to check for the businesses to.
There was no response. There was no email for a very long time. So let me tell you the truth. I sent them an email. I'm not going to do business with you anymore.
I don't think that can also be the case. But I understand where you are coming from. Yeah. I think it's for all of us anyway. If you're a small business, as much as possible, the service that you are providing to people, for me, I'm a person that communication is important.
Yeah.
So you communicate. If things need to be done, then you do it as much as possible. Yeah, it's important that we do that. So if you're listening in, this is a lesson that you have to check, and if you are doing any kind of things like that, you don't do it. I'm going to come to you now, Evans. So based on even these discussions that we have just had, are there lessons Ghana can learn from other countries like Kenya or even Rwanda that have already seen significant success in the digital space?
It's very, very important question, and Adobia, I'm passionate about SMEs. Okay. And in Ghana, 92% of all registered businesses are SMEs.
Of all registered?
Okay,
92%. All right.
And they contribute 70% of Ghana's GDP.
That's really huge numbers.
But when it comes to access to finance,
the ones who suffer the most,
they get like 13%. In terms of loans that are given, they get like 13%. Now, so access to finance to SMEs is very key. And anytime monies don't get to this level of businesses, our GDP is affected because they are in the majority. Now, if you go to Kenya, fintech is doing a lot. Now, people have stopped going to banks, going to queue, imagine somebody who have to pick two trotro to go, one trotro or three trotro to go to the bank. When they have mobile phones.
Yeah.
When they have mobile phone, why must somebody write a letter, prepare document, go and apply for a loan? It will go to this person, paperwork, 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 weeks.
They'll come and do inspection and all that.
3 months. Somebody just needs something small.
For the boys.
Something small. Look of you. Just sort himself out. The processes. Look, I've had clients sit in front of me and the amount of money that they are requesting for. And I'm hearing the amount and I'm seeing the process.
Yeah.
You know, so fintech is so important in making sure that there's financial inclusion in the system.
Got it.
Nobody is disadvantaged because all of them, no matter how small they are, they contribute to the economic output of the nation. Now, if you go to China, I just mentioned the issue of the WeChat. There are a lot of platforms that are being used to
enhance the
whole process of ecosystem. Kenya is number one, South Africa is there. And I think that we have to be deliberate about this. These things will not just come to us. We are too stuck with brick and mortar banking. We are too stuck with this is how we do it. We have to be deliberate about and learn. I wish some banks would say, let's go to China, let's go to Kenya and go and see how they are doing it. And let's come back and implement it.
That would really help.
I want central bank to send people there to go and see what they are doing.
I'll be surprised that maybe they've started putting some things like that in place. Yeah.
Definitely.
This is Geek Squad. We'll take the quick tech fixes. We will be right back after that.
Hiya, I am Michelle Lajakum, and as usual, I bring you some tech quick fixes and tips right here on Joy Geek Squad. Today, let's look at how to set a digital learning goal. Improving your tech skills starts with a small, clear goal. 1. Follow tech pages or podcasts. 2. Watch short tutorials. 3. Practice regularly, because consistent learning pays off.
Welcome back. This is Geek Squad with your girl Adwoa Biritwum. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN, everywhere you go. We've been having conversations on Ghana's fintech startups, talking about more innovations and how we can enhance the whole ecosystem. I've been talking to Bright Tenbil, founder of AfroTalks, and Bright Evans Darko, CEO of Skyflow BS International. Just before the break, we're talking about how best Ghana can learn some of the lessons from different African countries. And I know our time is already up, so we'll just be wrapping up. But I want us to look at if there's one thing that we can immediately help to fix, talking about the fintech space and even for African businesses, making trading more easily. What would that be? This one will be a few seconds, like 30 seconds, and then I'll come back to you.
Okay, so I think when we started, you asked how far have we been with fintech.
Yes.
I would say very far. It's just that we are doing in silos. So if there's one thing that would break the camel's back, should be interoperability between the African countries. When we are able to resolve that, because Nigeria is cashless. Lagos, they don't take cash. Everything is about OPay. I don't know if you know about OPay. Is how, just like mobile money over there, they have pens. What's the name? Kenya has their platform. Rwanda has their platform. Every African nation now thrives on easy payment.
Cashless, yeah.
You understand? It's just that we need to break the borders to make it a unison. That's it.
Okay. Evans, one thing if we have to fix.
Yeah, let's get AI. Let's get AI to, let's support fintech using AI to make financial inclusion. Okay, and or make financing or loans accessible to all in Ghana.
It's important that we
Capital
do that.
is blood to businesses.
Capital is blood to businesses. Parting words. What are your parting words, please?
My parting words that there is hope for Ghana in the fintech space, and we shouldn't give up. I think things will move faster than it has been in the past.
I like that. Right.
I think regulations and policies are making a lot of us not dream bigger, and issues like that. I'm happy about the NITA issue happening right now. Our voices are being heard, at least at this point, even though it's a draft. But at this point, I think everybody needs to speak about it.
Exactly.
And the work you are doing over here, in as much as it's you feel it's not, it's a little, but it adds up a lot. Like the conversations you are making us have. Thank you so much for your platform as well.
All right. Thank you so much. This has been Geek Squad with your girl Adwoa Biritwum, and a very big thank you to Bright Tenbil and also Bright Evans Darko for joining me for this conversation. It's important that we do this. Thank you to my producer Prince Safo and the entire technical team. Up next is news by Michael Ashali. Stay